Hi, I'm Jo Ruddock and I'm here with Tim Banks, Chief Revenue Officer at Grass Valley. Good to see you, Tim.
Yeah, hi Joe. Thanks for having me along.
No problem. So I think it's fair to say that 2023 was a year of transformation for Grass Valley with changes to the organisational structure and enhancements to the product portfolio. Can we expect to see more of the same over the next 12 months?
Yeah, Joe, it's true to say that 2023 was certainly a year of transformation. It marked a major milestone in GV's corporate development. By the middle of the year, we had formally completed the year three, the third phase of the 3-year transformation plan since being under the ownership of Black Dragon Capital. So essentially, we've completed all of the organisational heavy lifting. All of the org structure and the real estate changes, simplified the business information system, simplified the business processes. Essentially, many of the challenges that our clients are facing and the same process and transformation they themselves are going through. That kind of high rate of change has eased. But the kind of urgency, the pace and the purpose of the company's new direction is unrelenting. So it's a new phase of dynamism. 2023 was a very successful year financially for Grass Valley. So we exceeded our revenue and financial goals. It was our strongest year for cameras and switches and networking infrastructure since COVID.
Okay.
We have seen, thankfully, the supply chain challenges ease significantly through the second half of the year. And so starting 2024, we're back to standard lead times that we saw before COVID and the supply chain crisis. So that's all good news. The other major milestone internally is we've insourced the manufacture of the camera portfolio. So previously, we had outsourced the manufacture of the PCB sub-assemblies. And now all of that is manufactured in-house within our Montreal manufacturing facility. And we still keep the final assembly, test and QC and R&D in our Breda facility in the Netherlands. So all progressive changes and also some progressive organizational changes. So a number of key appointments through the latter half of 23, with Ian Fletcher being appointed Chief Technology Officer. Adam Marshall as Chief Product Officer. And then we had the new appointments of John Wilson as President and Chief Operating Officer, Mike Prinn as Chief Financial Officer, and Stephanie Sanchez as Chief Strategy Officer. So lots of new appointments at the senior level, but effectively, Lewis was clear that he wanted to make all of those ELT appointments in 23, because we were now shifting into a growth and investment mode for 2024 and beyond. So that leadership team is in place, working very closely together and looking forward to getting together in person in Vegas at NAB in a couple of days' time.
Absolutely. It sounds like there has certainly been a lot going on.
I think your other question is more of the same. Yes, more of the same. Perhaps something that isn't widely known is that Grass Valley has been recruiting very actively over the past 24 months. So we've hired around 400 new roles, primarily into technical positions and predominantly into R&D. And I think we've got around 100 open positions at the moment for 2024. And again, it's primarily into technical and R&D and engineering positions. So in terms of it, will it be more of the same in 2024? Yes, for sure. More growth, more investment, more innovation. And yes, more of the same in terms of industry leadership. We see it both as an opportunity and a responsibility for Grass Valley to kind of be a good industry citizen and work collaboratively with our clients, with our partners, to help shape the future of media.
Brilliant. And just on the product side, AMP has been a key part of your portfolio for a few years now. Tell me about the growth you're seeing there and how you're helping customers with the transition from hardware to software-defined workflows.
Yeah, if I take the first question around growth, for sure, it's been a phenomenally exciting few years since the first commercial launch of AMP in 2020. And I know a number of my colleagues internally will be bored of hearing me say, but I like to categorize that AMP journey in terms of 2020 was really about increased awareness of what the capabilities are of a software-defined, cloud-native, microservices-based architecture. It was about finding out what the technology is capable of, and really, with necessity being the mother of invention, with the impacts of COVID and social distancing, people having to develop new ways of producing and distributing content remotely and collaboratively. 21 was about acceptance, so countless examples of proof of concepts where clients and partners really wanted to evaluate the technology in detail themselves. And then really 2022 marked a significant phase of adoption, and really 23 and the first part of 24 has just been acceleration. So acceleration of that adoption. The main drivers of that growth, it's really part of addressing and solving the challenges that we all face as an industry. How do we create ever more high quality content, distribute it to any ever more different services and devices, and increasingly importantly, at a dramatically reduced cost. And so that's where we've seen the real interest in terms of the platform approach and the simplification of workflows and the simplification of integration of different technologies from a number of Grass Valley product teams, but also alliance partners across the industry. In terms of the major market drivers, it's really been sports and news. And so it's, how do you maximize the monetization of the assets that you're creating, or how do you maximize the monetization of those sports rights that you own? And then really about, how do you then deliver that content to the different delivery platforms? Fast turnaround workflows, really embracing remote production and the scale of savings that can be achieved. So clients sharing with us that by adopting remote production, they've been able to achieve in excess of 40% savings in terms of their sports production. So it's really significant. And as I've been traveling around the first part of 2024, it just seems that financial pressure and the need to move forward now with speed is only increasing. And then, I mean, it's great in terms of that adoption really since 2020, that when we think of AMP, it really is a proven platform for primetime television, including sports production. So involved with some of the most highest profile mass audience events, whether it's the Olympics or Super Bowl or English Premier League soccer, Formula One, tennis. It really is being embraced across the board and across all tiers of content. So yes, tier 2 and tier 3 in terms of really those efficient models for content production, but also increasingly for tier 1 sports and news production too. And I think that's a key message, Jo, certainly internally, that we see AMP as an inclusive concept rather than an exclusive concept. It's not like there's AMP and the rest of the GV portfolio. AMP is the platform, it's the operating system upon which the rest of the portfolio is integrated to enable these different models and different ways of working, whether that's the hardware connected solutions, the cameras, the switches, the networking infrastructure, or the native applications that we have in software, or indeed the ever-increasing number of third-party alliance partners that really are a key part of the success of AMP. In terms of how we help our clients through that transition, it was interesting attending a recent European Broadcaster Summit, where there really was a consensus across the public service broadcasters and the commercial broadcasters that essentially everyone is heading in the same direction technologically. It's just everyone's at a different stage in that journey, and everyone's traveling at a different speed in that journey. But the other key consensus was around the requirements, and really the power of hybrid cloud deployment models, best of breed solutions. So when adopting new ways of working and new technology platforms, still the need to be able to pick and choose the very best solutions from a range of different technology providers, and then creating an open ecosystem, ensuring interoperability between those different solutions. And really that's all targeted around delivering increased flexibility, increased agility, significant cost savings, and also savings in terms of time, whether that's time to market or time to be able to respond to the ever-changing media landscape. And when I sat back and reflected on that, I think that's the best possible description of AMP, even better than any description that we've come up with, in terms of it. Absolutely hybrid cloud deployment models, best of breed solutions, and an open ecosystem ensuring interoperability. In terms of how else we can help, it's real world case studies. So at the upcoming GV Forum event that's being hosted on Saturday of this week, actually it's going to be particularly great because it won't be GV presenting, it will be our clients and our partners presenting. So we'll have real world case studies of how the kind of leaders at the forefront of this transformation have been utilizing the power of software defined platforms across a number of different use cases, and a number of great sports based case studies, including Sky, CBS Sports will be presenting, the Saudi Pro League, Tata Communications, NEP, Globo, and many others. So it really will be, it's not a GV event really, it's an industry event that we're just lucky enough to be hosting. And really looking forward to it. I think the other help that we can provide is kind of share the lessons that we've learned along the way. And this was certainly a topic at the Broadcaster Summit, is now is a time of very significant change, and it's often the times like this where the industry pulls together collectively and we actually openly share one another's experiences and learn from one another's lessons. And so, you know, some of the takeaways from a Grass Valley perspective would be, when embracing these new ways of working and these new technologies, to dream big but start small. So yes, it's a great idea to kind of think of all the possible opportunities and capabilities that a system can provide, but really find a contained, well-defined, simple use case initially, and then build upon that, because that's how you build the confidence in the team. Because increasingly, it's less a question of the technology. It's more about the question of change management and bringing the team with you, whether that's the engineering teams or the operational teams. They're really the keys to the success of these projects. We as a technology provider are just an enabler, really.
Yeah, I think that's very good advice. And you mentioned that NAB is imminent. Can you share any areas of focus for this year's event for Grass Valley?
Yeah, sure, Jo. Obviously, we're focused on Grass Valley, but before that, we've actually got the GV Forum event that I mentioned, which really has come about because our GVX Customer Advisory Council asked us to host kind of an industry summit, if you will. NAB is a great opportunity where we've got a number of leading media and entertainment companies together, and technology providers, consultants, systems integrators. And so really they were asking, could we host an event where the key topics, the key challenges and the key opportunities that we all face can be discussed openly, both from a technology perspective, but also from a commercial perspective, so that we can kind of facilitate how we pull together as an industry to develop the best solutions and deliver the best experiences to our audience. So the event will comprise a series of panel discussions, real world case studies, and also industry insights from Grass Valley and from a number of our key clients and key partners. So that's going to keep us busy on the Saturday before the show opens. And then on Sunday, we're looking forward to welcome all of our key clients and prospective clients. And really we'll be focusing across the portfolio. So the cameras with the new integrated RF and 5G bonded cellular connectivity, kind of enabling and facilitating those latest generation remote production workflows. For switchers, the latest advances for the best-in-class K-frame production switcher, which was used by all of the production companies for the recent Super Bowl, and also the launch of the groundbreaking Maverick X platform, which is really the most flexible and comprehensive live production solution that we think is going to transform that live production workflow and environment. Really excited about the launch of Maverick X. For networking, again, it's about the hybrid cloud model, so having a common orchestration layer across on-prem, private data center, and public cloud deployments in the form of GV Orbit. And we will be formally releasing AMP Local and AMP Grid in terms of those additional deployment models, as well as the latest SDI 12 gig and IP offerings across the multi-viewers and signal processing parts of the portfolio. And that's before we get onto content production. This is the thing about the breadth of the portfolio. You end up spending 10 minutes providing just an overview of the highlights. So the latest advances of Framelight X in terms of asset management and integrating AI capabilities. So recognizing that AI is going to be one of the key topics for the show. And then, of course, Playout. And so we're delighted to be launching our Playout X V2 offering, which really offers a doubling of the channel density available from a compute perspective, but also about a 40% saving in the OS costs. So it really is not just an advance in terms of the technology, but also financially and commercially. It really is a great solution for the pain points that we face as an industry. And that's just from the GV side. We'll have a host of alliance partners also on the GV booth, showcasing, again, real world best of breed integrated workflows. So it will be, again, a great proof point in terms of that open ecosystem. As well, Joe, there'll be some sneak peeks into where we see the technology going as we move forward, and some of the capabilities that AI and spatial computing can offer in terms of unlocking the potential for us to find new ways of shaping media for the future. So yeah, there'll be some interesting new technologies. Please, for those attending NAB, do come along and see us at the GV Forum event on the Saturday, and then as the show opens on the Sunday. Really looking forward to it.